Well, I had dreams growing up. They had nothing to do with swimming. I always thought I would be the heir apparent to Vern Stevens, the Boston Red Sox shortstop at that time, or maybe to Johnny Pesky. And there came a time in my life I realized I wasn't going to be that successor. And of course, sports always been my life. And my brother and I were practically joined in the hip, my twin brother, in that regard. But never, ever would have thought until maybe I came to the academy in '67 and began to get involved with coaching the girls in the middle of the '70s that, well, this is what I do. Other than swimming in the lake, I had no knowledge of swimming, swim teams, swim coaches, swim pools. There weren't any where I grew up. Being a baseball, hockey, football guy, I really got into it, I think, when I was an undergraduate at UNM and I was looking around for summer employment. And I applied for and got the job as the aquatic director at the downtown YMCA in Albuquerque, which is no longer there. A pool in which, by the way, I was the only one that was allowed to wear a suit. YMCA swimming was conducted for the most part in the nude in those days. And that gravitated to a job at the Albuquerque Country Club, a summer job, and began a 41-year career of coaching summer league teams at 3 or 4 different clubs. I'm talking here about big teams, well over 200 kids.
Dave can get in the head of his athletes and motivate them to really perform the very best and to do it in a way that makes them better people, not only better athletes, but better people. He, in a workout, will quote Shakespeare and Chaucer and Popeye the Sailor Man, and he just knows a lot about the kids. He knows what my kids' times were when they swam back years ago. He knows what his freshmen's times are. He knows what Olympic champions' times were back in 1948. He knows all this, and he integrates this in a way where people respect him not only as a coach, but as a person.
Began to be interviewed by the headmaster from Albuquerque Academy for a job here. And I put him off 3 years in a row before I finally came. I did not come as a swim coach. I came as a head of senior school, teacher of English, and varsity track and field coach for boys, of course, because we were an all-boys school. Eventually, my younger brother came to the academy in 1969 and coached, became the boys' coach. And in 1974-5, when we became co-ed, I began a girls' team in 1975. And in 1982, my younger brother died accidentally. The headmaster asked me if I would take both the teams. And so I did, beginning in 1982-83. And that's the story of how I became a swim coach.
He's someone that I can always go to for advice. He's someone that's always going to be there for you. Coach Barney's, he's just a great man that you're never afraid to be around him. You can be open with him. He's just always there for you.
First of all, I love this school. I have a very high regard for it, and I have since I first came here in 1967 as an administrator and as a track and field coach and as a teacher of English and as a counselor and blah, blah, blah. It all boils down, I think, in being associated with the joys of young kids growing up. And I just like to be around them. If I didn't, I would have been gone long ago, believe me.
He takes care to seek you out. It makes you feel like he wants to talk to just you as opposed to you're just some other kid on the swim team. I don't know. He's just a really nice guy. I really like being around him.
In 1995, about 2 months before I retired from the classroom, classroom teaching at the Academy, I was named as the primary design consultant to work with a singular architect on the architecture and the layout of a new aquatic facility. This is the finished product. We had been second, especially in girls swimming, for those years that I only coached the girls, for a long time to Los Alamos, which had a powerful program. The first one was sweet, but I'll tell you, winning never gets sour. And the last one that we won recently, 2 months ago, was a sweet one because we really and truly weren't, at least by the experts, figured to win it. And there have been a couple in between in which we did some strategically different things that paid off for us. And so those are sweet wins too, but I have to say that each and every one of them has a personality of its own, and they're all sweet.
I think I'll miss Coach Barney the most when I leave swimming because he kind of makes you feel like you're an individual in a giant team of like 100 kids. And even if you're not the best swimmer, he'll kind of try and figure out how to make you better and give you a preference on what you want to do or what you want to be potentially when you're older, which it's really nice to know someone's kind of paying attention to that.
The Federation's Hall of Fame is at the top of the totem, so far as high school sport is concerned. There's no doubt about that. And so that becomes sort of a singular honor that stands above or resides above these various other halls of fame. The real, I think, payoff for a coach in any sport, here or other places, are the relationships that he is able to establish with kids whom he remembers, has a special place in his heart for. There's the real benefit of coaching, I think, in the profession.